Welcome to Let's Talk Tarot. Today I'm going to walk you guys through a tarot reading and explain my thought process along the way so that hopefully you can get a better understanding of the cards themselves, how to read tarot, so that you can do this for yourself and others. The question we're going to be exploring today is, what actions can I take right now for financial freedom? I think we're all after that financial freedom, right? So maybe this can even be a collective reading that we can just explore together. Now, they do require a significator, and I don't want to use up one of my tarot cards for that. My children broke my marker. Man, I have nothing nice around here. Anyway, I'm going to write my significator down as a question and stick that under. It is recommended. Now, like the classic way, they would want you to use a tarot card for that, but I don't want to, and I'm not gonna, so I'm gonna write it down. So what I wrote down for the question in silver ink is, what actions can I take to the most fulfilling route to financial freedom? You want to be really specific in your questions, you guys. Clear, precise questions get clear, precise answers is my motto. I will say it till the day I die. It is one of the most important things in tarot. You have to be asking your questions correctly. With the Celtic Cross, I believe that this is a very powerful, spell of divination, okay? So I think that it's important to say the spell while you're doing it. And I think that most spells require a sacrifice, so my sacrifice is the shuffling of my cards, because after so many shuffles, your deck does bend up. But I'm going to say the phrases while I lay down the cards, and if you guys want more clarification on this, I believe I have a blog post about it, and I definitely have some stuff in my Etsy shop for it. We got cards trying to fall, y'all. Okay, here we go. So, here's the spell. This covers him. This crosses them. This is crowns them. This is beneath them. This is behind them. This is before them. Themselves. Their house. Their hopes and fears and what's to come. You could say this is before him, her, they, the aliens, whatever you want. And in this series, I am essentially walking you guys through how to do a tarot reading so that you can better understand the cards, how to use them in different placements, and I'm going to always use the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. I'm going to always use the Celtic Cross. That way we can learn how to work with all the different spreads that are in it and learn how to work with the symbology that we all are familiar with, and then we can apply those to the modern decks. So it's all here, right? I'm seeing a lot of things, but what I don't see that's an immediate obvious answer is the steps we're supposed to take. I see where we are getting out of, poverty, we're getting into financial freedom. I see here where our hopes and fears are to be the Queen of Pentacles. Yes, I do want to be able to be the Queen of Pentacles. The obstacle card, that's this card right here, what crosses us, is the Eight of Pentacles reversed. That is almost like an unemployment card whenever it comes out like that. So you kind of need a job or something to make some money. It's also a card, though, of mastering your craft. So whenever it's reversed, it's kind of saying hey, look, you haven't mastered this enough. You got to keep practicing and get good enough to monetize it. It's and then to go hand in hand with that over here on the yourself positions, this is where you're at. It's look, you have all these choices in front of you. And I did a reading the other day for someone where this card came out, and ultimately it boils down to you got to pick something. You can't put yourself in 20 different places and expect anything to prosper. You got to commit to something. So, like I said, this is going to be walking through a thought process. Oftentimes, whenever I come to the screen with a reading, I've thought it through. You know what I mean? So, you guys don't see all of this. But things that catch my eye, I'm okay, we have two queens on the board. And, these readings are, whenever it's a teaching reading, I try to put my life into it because someone has to be the querent. So if I am the querent, I'm okay, yes, that makes sense because I'm a mother and most of my energy is spent on that. I've got 3 kids under the age of 12. I'm busy. In addition, in the past, with that Chariot being reversed, that really makes sense for me with my life because I lost my car back in October, and that was my income. My secondary income was Ubering. That was also how I could drive to different jobs. I could pick up more of because I substitute, so I could pick up more jobs. So that kind of does add in here too with this. That made me almost unemployed. And a lot of my energy lately has been focused on getting myself to a spot where I'm emotionally okay. That makes sense with this card up here. This is a card of being emotionally mature. And then on a subconscious level, it's making me not feel proud of myself, which is what this card indicates, because I just feel like I'm not really doing much because all of my energy is kind of being focused on making sure that my emotions and my environment are good enough that I can function in them. But that doesn't leave time for productivity, so I am feeling some kind of way. So how do we get to the steps? Where does this give us advice? To uncover the steps we're supposed to be taking for financial freedom in this reading, we need to first determine what are the action cards in a Celtic Cross. None of them are specifically labeled, this is what to do or steps to take. So to me, whenever I do these readings, I take this card here, the what's to come, as well as the himself card, and I believe that those are the only two that I have any influence over. In addition, we can work with what's crossing us. If we know that this is an obstacle, we can work with that to try to take action on that. Whenever I was further looking into the Celtic Cross, I was taught that if you want to change the outcome up here, because this is what's to come, then we have to change this right here. So if you want, like if this card is reversed and you don't want it to be reversed, then you would need to flip this card over. However, I want that card to stay that way, so I don't want to flip that card. I don't want to take opposite action to that card. So the Ace of Wands is an action card and the Seven of Cups is an action card. How do we get action out of those things? I believe we're going to take a little bit of a Taoist approach to this card here because, like I said, we don't want to flip it. So this is a card of having a bunch of opportunities in front of you and almost like your dreams are open. You have choices when this card is present. Now, the ace cards, all of them are a call to action. None of the aces are like guaranteeing you anything. This is like, hey, there is a seed. There's a potential for this to grow if you choose. You can just ignore the aces. If you get an ace of pentacles, that is not a guarantee of money. That is saying, hey, look, you're going to be handed an opportunity to grow something into something. So like you could get the ace of pentacles and not water that seed and nothing will come of it. What this is telling me, all that is leading up to say that with this Ace of Wands, I have to take action on my inspiration, on my creative sparks. The little things that are fueling my inner fire right now, those are the choices that I need to be working with. And now with us knowing that this is our obstacle, like I said, we can take action on that. And like we talked about earlier, this could be indicating unemployment or it could be indicating that you still have some skill set needed to gain on your craft. So this is when I need to determine, like, is this reading saying I need to go back to work? Is this reading saying that I need to work on my skills? Well, none of this is saying work to me. This is saying work on your inspirations. I believe this is saying that I need to master my craft. So this card here I want to talk about because I believe this is an action I can take as well. This is his house. This is your immediate environment. Sometimes it's like literally the walls around you. It's also like the people that are influential in your life, like your friends and stuff like that. But what I'm seeing here is it's showing that my environment is keeping me stagnant and that perhaps I could benefit to like cleanse some energy in my home, get my home lively again. Once again, this is Let's Talk Tarot, where we walk through tarot spreads so that you can better learn the cards, better learn the spreads. That way you can apply this to your own readings.